Good morning, traders. Hope everyone had a blessed evening. Good morning to everyone. The name list is getting too long. I'm going to probably slack off on calling everybody out, but good morning to you. Not seeing much this morning. I saw NVIDIA moving earlier. Only two stocks to choose from this morning so far, these two up here. And that one doesn't look good, and that one probably not so hot either. It was not there yesterday. I had trouble finding one that would actually work. That way you can tell if I'm delayed according to your time. If our seconds don't line up, I guess that's how you're going to tell. I don't know. We're just giving it a try. Yeah, it usually runs around 2 to 3 seconds. And again, there might not be anybody on. The market's probably going to be slow. I would think a lot of people are traveling today for Thanksgiving. We may not get any action. We'll just have to see. Thank you, Tony. About 2 minutes to go before market open. Make sure your chart is on TIFEXT. Well, I had to get a widget installer because you can't just put a clock or it won't remember you put a clock the next time you reboot. Then I had a widget launcher, and it had to launch the widget every time I restarted. Didn't take me too long, but I figured it out. I hope so, DK. Maybe there's one going to pop up. We'll see. Got about 30 seconds to go, 20. So if you're new here, we'll be watching this volume spike column to see if it turns green or red. We're looking for bullish spikes at market open. Here we go. Let's see what's going to happen here. We want these numbers to be rising, not just be green. This is shot. You know, it had some moves yesterday. It's only moving pennies today, though, so be careful. That's 520, 523, 525. No money there. Thank you, Skywalker, for that donation. Very appreciated. This is kind of how I thought it was going to go this morning. Gregster, you have to look up, do a search for widget launcher down in the search bar on Windows. Install the widget launcher. Then there's an assortment of clocks, and then you have to pick one and modify the colors, etc. Then you drag it to the screen where you want to go. That launcher will keep it there as long as you reboot and you have the launcher, it'll stay there. Couple pennies on shot. I'm not in it. It's not enough money. There's not going to hardly be any volume today, I wouldn't think. What I can remember last year, it was very slow on this day. And very slow on a half a day Friday. Good morning. This is what we get. I guess we can prepare for tomorrow. I'm looking forward to eating some real food. That special diet for heart patients is not good. I probably lost 7 pounds, but I really don't need to lose any. Yeah, tomorrow's a cheat day for me. I'm going to eat everything in sight. So stay clear. I'll be the one pushing everybody out of the way. They won't be as desperate as me. That's one thing I really haven't ever done, was really just overeat. I kind of like to just get to the point where I feel like I'm getting full, stop for 10 minutes, and you get even fuller. And I'm done. A bite of this, I guess you call it a bite of everything. But back in the day, it wasn't 2 pieces of fried chicken. It was as much fried chicken as was laid out on the table. I've been there as well. So what we can do this morning, if it's extremely slow and y'all want to just call it an end, we'll take a vote on it, see how many people's ready to just give up and move on. And if y'all decide that, then we'll stop the stream. Friday, I will not be holding a live stream. So I'm going to leave it in your hands. If you get too bored and you're staring at blank screens, then it'll be your call. I think all we're going to see is a couple of them pop up but not move, because we're going to probably have about half the volume that we had. That'll be fine. I'll stick around. I have nothing to do. I want to make some money too. Maybe that one stock will pop up for Thanksgiving. We'll pay for the meal. Bob, I was thinking you could replace me one day and give me a break. Remember everything that I say, what I'm doing. Fill in for me. Not everybody can do this, I understand. Not everybody wants to either, but I want to. I could do this forever. It's not no biggie. I really enjoy it. I'll send you a mic, Bob. Now you have no excuse. Thank you very much. You see it as commentary. I see it as if I own a green parrot that repeats everything to me every day. Heat and repeat. Don, welcome. Glad you can make it. Yeah, it's not going to be too good of a demonstration if you're just showing up today. You showed up on the slowest day of the year. other than around Christmas time. Thank you, Robert Pro. My wife don't think the same, though. She can't wait for these things to be over. I'm just kidding. She's in another room downstairs. She can't hear me. She does come in here whispering, "Is the mic on? Is the mic on?" PXMD, it's not on my screen, but it probably is. I probably can't see it. I'm not seeing it anywhere. Let's see if it's down at the bottom. No, not at the bottom. Let's see if we get a pullback on this dollar stock. They usually don't work so hot on these cheaper stocks. So from 99 cents to $1.02 would be the next number. So 3 pennies. No pullback yet. Maybe a pullback here. Let's see where we go. I'd like to see it pull back down to here. If it's your first time here, I mark out the resistance level. When this green candle stops and we see a red one, I will mark resistance. Wait for it to pull back to about here, or wherever it pulls back to. I'll be waiting on this red candle to close. Then I'll put a support level, and this is going to be an entry down here for bounce play back up to this line, but there's not any money there. This is a cheaper stock. It did get down here. Looks like it's going to sell off. Okay, that candle closed. This would be support. So if it's going to bounce, it should bounce up here. If it's going to fail, it's going to come down below it. It looks like it's going to sell off. They got tired of waiting. Get me out of here. Now we may get that bounce from 96 to $1. Are you really going to want that 4 pennies? There's your 4 pennies. Will it break through? Probably not, but it could. Never did pop up on my chart over here. Yeah, we broke through it. So that was a good entry down here where I said enter on support. But if you're happy with the nickel, I hope you made it. Yeah, it's not worth the little investment. I like to see some money over here in this column. At least be jumping 10 cents per number. Couple days we've had it 50 cents per number. Thank you, Wayne. Really appreciate it. So the pullback worked, but only for a couple pennies. But that's basically, if you're new here, that's what we do every day. We wait for these run-ups, because we're usually the first to know by watching this volume spike indicator, and you'll see it run up, and I'll throw a resistance level when it stops running up. We wait for the next candle to pull back, and we throw a support level when it closes. And we wait for a green one and play the bounce back up, and most of the time it breaks right on through. That second run can earn you more money than that first initial run up. In this case, with no volume today, didn't happen, but the setup did play out. Howard, you click the $ down there when you type in the chat, and then you click Super Chat. And thank you for being a Patreon subscriber. Julian, if you go over to Discord and click on how-to videos, watch video number 8. I cannot explain it any better than video number 8. We do have a multiple choice on Patreon. I've had several subscribers say, I want to pay more. So I put options there. You can choose the amount you're willing to donate, up to $30 a month. But that's on you. You make that decision. So if you're new here and you don't know about this indicator, this is the overall volume of the stock, this label here. Then I broke it down as far as buyers and sellers. So how many is the buyers outnumbering the sellers in the overall volume? And we kept using this. It works very well, but you can't see it visually because you can't keep adding these numbers in your head. Was it higher or was it lower? So I brought it down here and made it visual on the chart. So now the green line is the buyers of the overall volume, and the red line is the sellers of the overall volume. And now you can see visually which one is dominant. And in this case, there's more sellers than there is buyers in the overall volume. So it's the same as this label, but visually on the chart. Wow, Howard, really appreciate it. That will help a lot. Maybe I can upgrade Discord now. Discord needs a slot for more viewers and they want me to pay, so kind of building the pot to get that done. Howard, that's a great blessing. I really appreciate it. Elmore, if you go to Discord and you look at current setup, it'll put everything you see on this window plus these two indicators. So you'll get all the arrows, you'll get the crossover, you'll get the bid and the ask and the spread. You'll get bullish and bearish up here. This label up here is monitoring this current candle. And at 6:30, I'll do an entire walkthrough, introduce myself, and tell you what's on the screen and how it performs. So at 6:30, if you're new here, I'll do a demo, introduce myself, walk you through the indicators. Right now, we're waiting on a miracle to happen, and miracles do happen. Thank you, Fire Medic Dave, and the same to you. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone. I do lots of cooking. I've always loved to cook. And it's kind of hard when you're cooking not to eat what you're cooking. Everyone calls me the bread master, the gravy master, the master of cooking. I've been cooking since a young kid. I got right beside my mother and I started learning because I knew one day I was going to need to know it. Now I can cook anything. That's why you see all those cooks on TV. They're big, healthy boys because they take a bite of everything they create. So they're eating all day long. A lot of them have died from eating too much. Good morning, Rodrigo. Not seeing very much moving this morning. PXMD going up about a penny every 2 or 3 minutes. Thank you, P. Probably going to be a large cap day, in my opinion. I'll take a look at Microsoft, see what it's doing. Microsoft is in the all stock scan. Think it's right under $500. Everyone thinks Discord is cheap, but it's one of those things where you can get started for free, but everything you want to do is going to cost you. Lynn, are you sorted by Momo? Click on this Momo name and bring the numbers up to the top. It all depends on how I'm sorted as well and how you're sorted. All right, if you're new here, I am Ricky Gaspard. I'm a guy who trades from his home office. I've been trading since 1990. I'm also a ThinkScript coder, and I write my own scripts. Everything you see here on the screen was written by me. You will not find them on ThinkorSwim unless you load them. This volume spike column is monitoring the volume as far as up and down, and I relate to it as buyers and sellers, but it's not really buying and selling orders. It's volume increasing while the price is going up, and volume decreasing as the price is going down. That's the difference in bullish and bearish. Once we see a spike over here, we immediately go to this volume bar to see if there's enough volume in the stock for us to get in and get out quickly. In this case, there's not. Let me get back over to PXMD. That would be a good example of what's happening. PXMD. So once we see a spike over here, let's pretend this is PXMD. We come down here and check the volume. If it's really ticking, we look for a crossover of these two moving averages. This is the 5 EMA and the 13. We look for these spike arrows to come in. This is telling us the volume is increasing. We also monitor this label up here that says bullish or bearish, and it's monitoring the current candle. And right now there's not enough to trigger it. Down here you'll see on this label there's a bullish and bearish. This label is monitoring the entire volume of this stock to let you know if there's more sellers or buyers in the overall volume. Visually, I put this on, build another indicator out of this label to let us know and let us see who's dominating, the buyers or the sellers. So you can see this label visually down here. Never trade off of my screen. Sometimes we're delayed up to 5 minutes sometimes, and I have to try to correct it. So always watch this new clock and see how much delay we're running. You're going to have seconds on your end as well. If the seconds are pretty close, within a couple of seconds apiece, then you know what my delay is. So if you want to get this set up, join our YouTube channel, and I'll put the link down here in the chat. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, like the videos, watch the videos, comment on the videos, let YouTube know what kind of a job I'm doing. It also lets me know if I'm doing a good job. In the description of every video is a link to our Discord. And on our Discord, join it, click the disclaimer button to become a member, and the channels will pop in. Once you're in Discord, if you don't know how to install labels, scripts, and indicators, watch the how-to videos, and specifically number 8 video, and it'll tell you where these are located and how to install them. If you have any trouble installing them, post us a question over in support. Let us know the issue you're having. I'll try to help you as soon as I can. If I can't, somebody else there will help you. Also in our Discord, you'll find different channels. We have the trading floor with Gregster and River Place Dad doing their due diligence on stocks and posting stocks throughout the day. I sometimes join them and help them out and post a few of my own. When you get to that point in your life and you know what's going on, you can also post your suggestions as well. Over in Options Trader channel, we have It's Me Bob. He's our options master over there, and occasionally, if there's enough participants, he'll hold a live stream to take you a little bit deeper into options if you're willing to learn. Everything we have is free. I'm trying to keep it free. We're strictly donation. We have a Patreon donation if you'd like to contribute, and we really appreciate all of the current subscribers to Patreon. You can contribute by clicking the $sign below the chat window there, and then clicking on Super Chat if you wish to do a one-time donation. No donations are mandatory, but it helps us keep the channel going. If you can afford it, we'd really appreciate you becoming a subscriber of either Patreon or making a contribution in the chat. My goal is to keep everything free forever, but the bills sometimes get a little bit high for me, and I'm going through a few medical issues, but I'm already thinking I'm healed, and that's all it takes. You'll get some valuable information. Come here and attend the live streams every morning, or just about every morning if there's not a holiday. and learn how to use these indicators. I do full demonstrations live. I call out support and resistance levels. Teach you how to make some money whenever that opportunity occurs. I appreciate everyone who joined us this morning, and happy Thanksgiving to all of you. There will not be a live stream on Friday. So enjoy your days off. Give your brain a break. That's what I'm going to do. And we'll be back here on Monday. ANGH. Well, I'm not seeing any volume whatsoever. It's dead, just like the rest of the market. Check them before you post them. Notice that volume bar. If it's not moving, there's no sense in suggesting it. It's beautiful. I agree. It looks like the perfect pullback, but we don't have any volume to make it work. Lynn, you're going to take it over to support on Discord. I'll get to you when I can. That's a little bit too much to try to get figured out here. Try to keep this for learning the indicators, not a support department, but I understand you're having issues, and we'll be glad to help you out. Just post it over in support. See, that pullback strategy works even when there is no volume. Looking good on ANGH. So if you would have clicked the button down here at around, let's just say 280, let's be safe about it. 280 would be back up to resistance. You're gaining about 10, 15 cents about now. Really going. Everybody wants something to buy, so they're clicking the mouse. Be careful though, volume may die. There may not be enough people there to keep it going. Good job, Warlock. Good job, JC. So when we do have a pullback play, if you're new here, this works very well. We probably only missed one or two in 3 or 4 months so far. It's kind of like even this stock, it didn't have any volume. It was just sitting here. But it did pull back to support. Then it kind of laid flat again. And then it took off. So we don't chase green candles. We wait for the volume to come in. Then we wait for a little profit taking. Then we buy in. Keeps us from getting trapped by chasing green candles and then everybody's selling off. That's the best part of this strategy. It showed up down here. We run 2 scans. This one is the all stock scan. It's really nothing special. It's only a price sorted by volume descending. So if you built a chart and just put $1 and no maximum, or even if you put a maximum, and then just sorted it by volume descending, this is what you see here. Mine is currently set, I believe, at 25 cents with no maximum. And then we let the indicator do the sorting. That's why we have no filters on it. But this pre-market scan, it's custom coded. Not by me, it's got the after-hour script from ThinkorSwim. That's what makes the pre-market work. So nothing special here. You create a scan with the price. This one is 25 cents, no maximum. I believe the volume is at 10,000. On a 1-minute chart with EXT checked, and the after-hours script is added to it. This is our earnings scan. I created this one. The earnings scan is looking, if someone had earnings yesterday, it's going to be in this list. And if they have earnings coming out today, it's going to be in this list. The reason why we continue to watch yesterday is sometimes the stocks continue to run. So we watch the prior day and the current day. And we also monitor them by V-Spike to see if they had really good earnings. You would see this thing really kicking up here. SPRC took off while I was rattling my jaw. We cleared the lines here. You can tell we played them before, we still have lines. So this would be resistance. It did pull back to here, but it did not close. It's going to continue to run. Not seeing a whole lot of volume in this one. It's pausing, so be careful here. We're on a low volume day. There may not be enough to drive it up. If the buyers and the sellers are equal, it's not going to go anywhere. It's not plotting down here yet because we had no data prior to this green candle. This line was resistance, but since we broke through it, now we're retesting it as support. So on the underside of that line, it's resistance if the stock price is trying to go up and get through it. Once it breaks through it and comes down, and if it can't get down below it, it's going to become support. Right now it's struggling. It don't know which direction it wants to go. The volume is kind of low. There was only 23,000 on that last candle, and it was pretty much equal buyers and sellers. That is a 50-cent bounce here between these two numbers. I like much higher volume than this. And right now, I don't like the bouncing. I mean, which way is it going to go? I'm still having that thought in my brain. Which way is it actually going to end up going? because we don't have the volume to really drive it up. It should have already drove it up, actually. So we're kind of bouncing around, hoping and guessing we can make some money on it. Not seeing a whole lot of volume right here is where you need to be watching. The current bar volume. Now you see a red label. That's this candle. And you see more sellers than buyers. That does not mean it won't go up, though. The buyers could jump in any minute. But to me, guessing if it's going up is not a good strategy to use. There was 50 cents right there, or 45 actually. But who knows? There's not enough volume. It's a risky play. Good job, Warlock. Warlock took his chances. He made breakfast money. Looks like the buyers have now found it. Let's see if enough buyers have found it, because the volume's really just barely trickling in. Nice rise on SPRC. Good job, Skits. Still trying to go. I guess the good thing about low volume, there isn't much sellers. Looks like it's going to keep on going here. If you've already in the profit, don't know if I would take a chance of losing it. Now you're chasing green candles. I'm hoping for a pullback on it. We haven't really had a good pullback yet. And we may not get one. Let's see how many profit takers pull it down. I don't think there's any just shorters on it. I don't think they're here today. I'd like to see it pull down to about here. I'm going to mark this resistance level. Hopefully we get a nice pullback. Even here would be better. Not really a strong pullback. That's why I haven't marked it out. That's what I wanted to see. Kind of need this candle to close now. Waiting on this candle to close so I can mark support. Okay, that candle did close. If it's going to bounce up, it's going to be between these two lines. It may go back up here to retest 911. Let's see how it responds. It's looking like we're going to continue selling off. I think the profit takers are about done. Hopefully we'll get that bounce back up to 911. I don't like that the volume has died. I don't know if I would trust this one or not. And every time I say that, it'll go back up to 911. Still testing that line as support. 818 is the support level. It's probably more like 820, but we'll leave it at 818. Finally starting to plot. You can see the sellers are above the buyers. Had to build up some data before it started plotting. JC, I kind of agree. We don't have the volume to support it. When you're day trading, you want to see these numbers really flying right here, and it's kind of like hit and miss this morning because we don't have enough volume in the market. Good job, Dusty. So what you should be watching right now is this label right here. You want to see these numbers all of a sudden take off, and you want to see a green candle pop in. You also want to see bullish come in up here. That means there's enough buyers in it for you to get in. You don't want to see this red label of sellers down here. So you could quickly look green, green, and green. There we go. Here comes some volume. There's no specific number of volume. You just want to see a big flow of buyers coming in. We are in pre-market. And in pre-market, you go from no volume to sometimes extreme volume. It wants to go. We have lack of buyers. You can see the buyers are slacking off here, and the sellers are taking profit. You can see the green line turning up here. There's a few buyers come in when that happens. We want to see this line start dropping and this one start going up. The angle of these lines does not mean the angle of the price. I want you to keep that in mind. Up here is higher volume, down here is lower volume. So the volume of the buyers is a lot lower than the seller's volume. So sometimes you'll see this red line going up and the price is going down. And that's because the seller volume is increasing. So just because it's going up doesn't mean the price is going up. I've actually seen both green and red going up, but the green was above the red, so the price was kind of going down. So don't ever confuse the angle of these lines with the angle of the price. It's not the same. JC, this indicator is saying the same thing that you just said. That it's going to go down. JC, glad I could help you there. Dusty, I wouldn't think so. Tick charts are orders and not volume, so you don't have a volume flow on a tick chart. You have an order flow. This is based on volume. You can try it. I really don't think it will, though, but you can try it. On the tick chart, I like using the 5 and the 13 EMA and playing the crossovers on the EMA on a tick chart. I found that to be the most accurate. You have to add them manually to the tick chart. Thank you, Stone Cold. Thank you, JC. Hopefully, with what I do, I'm fulfilling that one need where you always thought something's missing here. What am I missing? Hopefully, I'm filling that gap for you. We do have a pullback on Grom. Well, hopefully it's a pullback. Let's hit this candle to close, and we'll mark the support level. Grom is down there in the all stock scan. Looks like Grom's going to sell off. Yes, sir. Good eye, Alfredo. At least you were aware it was doing a pullback. If you made money today on this low volume, you did very good. You would have had to chase the green candles on SPRC and take a chance at it, and those who did made a little bit of money. You come here every morning and watch how many times we do these pullbacks and how many times they work. You will see how confident you can be by using this pullback strategy. This is not a pullback. This was a sell-off. So you build confidence coming here, watching me set these resistance and support levels, and watching how many times it does return up to resistance and breaks through. Not all of them break through, but that gap between here and here can earn you $1 a share, or it could earn you a nickel a share. But it does work. I would not call this a pullback. It sold off too far down. Brian, there is no video on it, but it's a very simple procedure to do. When you see a green candle running up, you wait for it to top out and a red candle to come in, and you mark this top level right here. Once this next candle closes, you mark the bottom of it for support. In this case, it kept going down, so I didn't mark it. It actually oversold. But that's basically it. You're marking the reversals. So this was a reversal from running up. Then when this red candle closes, you would put a line, And if you start getting green candles, it's going to bounce back up. There is a video on how to put these lines on your chart. Just go to how-to videos. It's one of the videos down there at the bottom. Good morning, Brian. Good morning, AC. We're past that 7 o'clock hour. Nothing popped in this morning. Usually the top of the hour at 7 can be beneficial for us if someone puts out news, but nobody evidently has put out news this morning at 7. You can see how this stock just sold out, never recovered. Francisco, if you're talking about these two here, it's going to be the difference between the buyers and the sellers. But there's no data to make them work, so it's not available at the moment. Yeah, any top of the hour for news is good. I've even seen news come out at the half hour. I've seen news come out in pre-market at no hour. Thank you, Dana. Dana does very well using this system. He comes here almost every day and puts money in his pocket. Good job, Newman. Newman, so you were hanging on to SPRC, and this morning it finally let you out with a profit? Good job. MTEK. Oh, that one looks like a disaster. Good job, Alfredo. Grom has no volume spike. MTEK seems to be moving here. Let's see if it's going to recover. Maybe a hopeful, thinking he found a bottom. Newman, it could be if the buying volume picks up some. It's just barely trickling. We're in a very low volume day. It's going to be risky playing anything. If you're day trading and scalping, you want this number continually going with increasing volume. Not just a few buyers and sellers coming in and then it pauses, and then a few buyers and sellers, and we get another pause. So this is not performing like we want it to. Now, it could eventually take off. You could be correct, but it's going to be slow to do so. William, that is correct. As it's on an uptrend, though, not just any top and bottom. Need lots of buyers to drive it up right at the start, the first green candles. Wait for them to start taking a little bit of profit and mark the support level. Then other people find it and drive it right on up because they saw the first run. Ray, on the tick chart, it's the 5 EMA and the 13. This is what low volume can do for you. because you could have swore it was going up from here. But when the volume's too low, it's a guess. You're welcome. Not necessarily a number in volume. You want volume flow. In other words, you want this number really kicking. You don't want it to stop. You want to see 3,000, 5,000, 50,000, 100,000, 200,000. You want to know that there's a lot of buyers coming in. Not just, okay, we're at 1,500, somebody else buys 100, somebody else buys 2,000, somebody buys 75. We want to really have this number really pumping. All of the buyers are on top of it. They're all buying in. And right now we're hit and miss. Few buyers, a few profit takers. SOPA, cheaper stock. I will not be marking out support and resistance. They're unpredictable. This one will probably lose everything it gained. This is what I'm talking about no volume flow. You see it's just stuck here on 12,000. Now some buyers came in. Now some sellers. So we're like 50-50 buyers and sellers. That's not a good number. That's correct, Don. You have to understand when I'm looking at this label, it's not a specific number, it's the flow of volume. So this is a 30-cent stock. What if I came in here and I bought 10,000 shares? Would that only be 4 people? Because we're only at 40,000. That's how you have to look at it. What if I bought 10,000 shares for $3,000? Then it's 1 to 3 people. I can almost assure you, if I don't find a stock today that has great volume flow, I won't be trading. I don't play these, okay, I got in here and I'm going to hold on for an hour to get 20 or 30 cents. I don't play those kind of stocks. I strictly scalp. If there's enough volume for me to scalp, that's when I jump in. Something just trickling its way, I don't like holding on that long and having to watch it. Volume is coming in. If you want to play them, you can. I'm not going to risk it. Bryce is over on Discord. You have to be a member of Discord and go over to TOS Scans. That's a channel on Discord. And you'll find the pre-market scan there. And to get this set up, Bryce, you have to go to current setup and load steps 1 through 4. You never day traded before, it's about buyers and sellers. It's about the volume with buyers and sellers and price action. So when we see the buyers and sellers coming in, then we start watching candle movement, which would be price action, and we start marking our resistance and our support levels. If this candle closes, I will mark it here. But it looks like it's going to sell off. So this is how you do it. We had a run up of green. It stopped here, came in with a red candle, so I marked resistance. Now I'm waiting on a bottom, and I don't like to see this many candles to create the bottom. On high volume, we may only get one candle before I mark the bottom. When we have multiple candles red, it's not actually a bottom. They're starting to sell it off. On higher volume, it's much easier to play this strategy. SPRC struggling still. Floating around that 818 level. Howard, when we mark the pullback and the price does not return back green and start rising, it starts to become a sell-off. And then if it drops down below support, it's really selling off. So in this case right here, if I would have marked this top, which I did, and then I marked a support level, but the stock did not start rising back up. It just gave us a small green candle, but we don't jump in immediately. We wait for confirmation. Confirmation would be this candle's a lot taller. It moves over and starts going up. In this case, we've got a short green candle. It actually pulled back down to here red before it became green. That's why we watch price action. So since it pulled down red, it would have been below the support level. Came up green to tempt us. But then the next candle was red and it continued to stay on the support level and eventually broke through. That means the buyers gave up. You come here often enough, you'll start catching on really easy, especially on higher volume days. This is much easier to understand. Today's going to be a hard one for me to give a good demonstration because we don't have the volume to support it. SHOT. You can see how SHOT is really respecting this level. It did break through, so in this case, you would wait for a retest of 539. You would not jump in just because it broke through resistance. You want it to go up, turn around, come back and retest this level for the next run up. So this candle did close. It did come down a little bit to retest. It may go up a little bit more. So now we want it to roll over, come back down and retest 539. We may not get that opportunity. It's hard to predict today with this low volume. Newman, my day yesterday was kind of all over the place. I had a doctor's appointment. I had all kind of stuff going on. I didn't get hardly any trading in yesterday. By the time I was done, it was probably mid-afternoon, and I don't like trading past 10:30 in the morning. Sometimes I do, but sometimes I don't. So here's that retest of 539. So if it doesn't break through and we get a green candle, it may run up again. We do have the buyers over the sellers down here. And again, this is hard to do on low volume. It's kind of just barely ticking. Newman, I can't give you that kind of advice. That's where you get into legal issues. I can tell you where I would take an entry. And as I said earlier, there's not enough volume for me to trade. I'm a large share size trader. I'm not going to throw a lot of money at a stock that's barely got volume. So it did bounce back up to that level, just like I said. So when you hear me say there's support here, you'll see me mark resistance, then you'll hear me say this is a support level. That's when you need to make up your mind if you start seeing a green candle if you want to get in or not. But I'm not going to say, okay, buy it now. That's not going to happen. I've been in that trouble before. Don't want to face the SEC again. Becomes a liability if I tell you to get in and I'm wrong. Then what? Entry here is always on support. I just said that. Plus, nowadays, there's so many people wanting to sue somebody else and take their money instead of going out and earning their own. So I'm not going to put myself there. You can see how I played it out again, and it worked again. You come here every morning and watch me mark these levels. Soon you will be marking those levels and doing the same thing that I'm doing. Thank you, Hawa. Newman, there's a video on that in how-to videos. Sometimes I think I need a replay button. Warlock, I kind of understand. I mean, I can tell somebody go watch the how-to videos and then they come back and say, well, how do I create a scan? That tells me they did not go watch the videos. And I'll say, go watch the videos, and they'll come back, well, what's the bid and the ask? But I understand we have a lot of new people interested in trading. So I do my best to keep up with every level. I know there's going to be a lot of repeat questions. I'll get through with one guy and the next guy will ask me the same question again. That's just the way it goes. And you'd really be surprised at how many people they told me they watched the video and then they didn't. Oh, yeah, I saw that already. Well, then why are you asking me this question? I'm going to say this is not a play. But I still enjoy it. I have a lot of patience. I've been dealing with people forever. Don, everything here is ThinkorSwim. See you later, Alfredo. You have a blessed one. I'll see you on Monday. Don, are you talking about you can't execute at pre-market, or you can't execute anytime, even at market open? Well, that's not good. Don, have you tried reinstalling the app? I'd definitely be contacting them to find out why. Don, that's not an excuse. You have to make money, and they know that. I would think I'd go up with my anger a little bit more when you get them on the phone. Sometimes you got to push people to get something done. Newman, if you keep coming to these live streams, you'll see that we don't just trade because the stock is bouncing around. We actually wait for a setup to occur. Trading's not a guessing game. You wait on it to set up for the proper play. So at 8 o'clock, I'll be doing my usual 10-minute break. I will return about 8:10 or so. About 8:25, we will set up for market open. Hopefully get a shot at something at market open. We'll see how it goes. Don't have much faith in today. I am not. The stock is just channeling to the right. It ran into that resistance level right here and pulled right back down. So it's stuck in a channel, just bouncing between the two lines for 5 or 6 cents. You can see these lines, the volume is dying off. It is coming down. That's the importance of reading the indicators. Good morning, Rad Dad. I'm down near Galveston Island. I was born in Galveston, so it's kind of just like another place to me. A lot of people see it as tourist. It is a nice place for such a small place. A lot of entertainment down there. We had the bike rally 2 weeks ago with over 500,000 motorcycles on the island. LQR, not on mine because it's a 5-cent stock. I'm scanning for 25 cents and above. Warlock, where are you currently? What state? Well, you're not too far then. So I'm getting an error from YouTube, is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. So keep an eye on my clock, make sure we don't get delay too much here. I still have the warning from YouTube that the video has interference somewhere. It's not on my end, it's between me and YouTube. Now the warning went away, so we should be coming back to normal. Newman, I don't play these cheap stocks. So I'm not going to call it out. You can mark support and resistance levels on it and play it. That's why you're here, to learn. We have no volume on Grom. Last bar volume 100. Current bar volume less than 1,000. Thank you, OT. It's taking up my space, though. I already don't have enough space. But I guess it'll be all right since it's down there by earnings. See you later, James L. Have a blessed Thanksgiving. See you on Monday. Lance, I have a low float scan over in TOS scans. So it's 8 o'clock, guys. I'm going to take a 10-minute break here. You can watch shot on the screen. I'll be back in about 10 minutes. All right, guys, I am back. Newman, if you're going to hang around here, you got to be a professional. I don't allow all this spamming in the chat forum. If I have to remove you, I will. I don't want to, but I will. Let's try to act like adults here. Good morning, Vaughn. Eric, are you talking about the colored prices here in this column? It's all set by ThinkorSwim. It's probably going to be in your look and feel settings, but I really don't think you can change them. May try hitting setup and application settings as well. That it may be over in that section. Same to you, Picker. Have a blessed one. See you on Monday if you're leaving. Good job, Kyle. Kyle, did you just short the drop? Good morning, Mike. Good job. In about 5 minutes, we'll set up for market open. See you later, MY. Appreciate you joining us this morning. You have a blessed Thanksgiving. Thank you, Braxton. I try to call it out candle by candle. You won't find anybody doing that on live streaming. You'll find a bunch of them begging for your money, though, your membership fee. Then they'll show you the candle action or not. Scott, it's a scan. You can find it over in TOS scans. Flo, tell him you got a new boyfriend. See what happens. Braxton, that will affect it. Also, I'm sorted by this momentum indicator up here. You can click on the name and bring up the numbers to the top. Flo, I'm going to have to hide that one from my wife. Now we're both going to get in trouble. Actually, she'd probably say, here, take him. Scott, the reason I leave my pre-market entry price so low, I think I'm at 25 cents because we've had plenty of stocks go from like $3. Well, you've heard me say this before probably, but from $3.75 to $60, or a $4 stock go to 14. We do have those occasionally pop up on the lower price range. Pre-market is pretty much the cheaper stocks. You got to keep that in mind as well. All right, I'm going to go ahead and change over. We're going to put the 50-minute scan up here. So currently, before I change this one's looking back 30 minutes. I don't know if I announced that earlier. That's what this momentum scanner does. It's watching stocks for the last 30 minutes. If they move, they get a score. If they're just moving a little, they get a low score. If they're moving a lot, they get a higher score. Let's go ahead and change over to the 50-minute look back. And that would be this scan right here. So now this scan, this momentum indicator has been looking back 50 minutes for anything that's moving. So we have a lot longer list of stocks that have been moving previously. Then we wait on these volume spikes to kick in. Down here, I'm going to put in the high flyer scan. The scan here, the moving averages are stacked, and when I say that, the 5 is above the 13 is above the 34, the 34 is above the next one, and so on. And the price is above the 5. So that's where you're going to find in this list. Over here, I released a new scan yesterday. I guess we'll put it in there. And it was called the Dominator scan. And I took this code and I turned it into a scan. So this scan is searching for buyers and sellers being active. This was a pretty good scan yesterday. I was using it all day long, giving it a good test. Braxton, I stay on the 1 minute, but I'm running multiple monitors. I'm also watching the 5 minute, the 15 minute, the 133 tick chart. I'm confirming on all 3 time frames before I throw a lot of money at a stock. Joshua, it's in current setup. That is these files. Everything that's the newest versions will be in current setup. And it's not an indicator for a chart. It's an indicator for a watch list, so it installs differently. You're going to import, normally you're going to open the shared link and import it, but then you have to go to this little gear icon right here, click Customize, and look for it over here in this column and move it over for it to appear in your watch list. If you watch video number 8 and how-to videos, it'll walk you through that. It is based on daily, that is correct. This is a very powerful scan if you've never used it. I basically just wait for one of them to hit this top level, and that's where you want to really jump on them, or at least take a good look at them. Good luck, everyone. I'll be watching the top stocks over there. So these are the ones you want to pay attention to, these top 3 or 4. This is GDC. It's been moving around for about a week. So what we'll be playing is we'll be waiting for the run up, then I'll mark the resistance level, play the pullback for the next run up. That's providing we find a good one to play. You can see the sellers are dominating this one. Super low volume today. Volume's already fading out. Let's see what Shot's doing here. So you're going to have a lot of choices right at market open because it's very volatile. So the way to play it is to find a runner and wait on a pullback. You won't be able to catch them all. You never can. We'll stick with Shot here and see if we can get a top, get a resistance level when this candle closes. You can see how we're right on top of them. There's a pullback. Would like to see it come back down into here, but halfway would be good. Not much of a pullback. The buyers are coming back in. Would like to see a pullback. I don't want to chase green candles. Now we need this candle to close. We're waiting on it to close just in case it sells off. We don't want to be in it when it's doing this. This is what I'm talking about. So we're going to move on from that one. SGD is making a rise. Maybe we can get a pullback out of this one. This is off the high flyer scan. It's also in the 50-minute. Not a lot of volume in this one. I'm going to wait on the next one. CDIO. Kind of a cheaper stock. It pulled back down to this level but didn't stay. We need it to come down and close. That was a little too quick there. I'll go ahead and mark it. You can see the sellers driving it down. Candle wick on the top is not good. These are sellers. We are buyers here, and we do have bullish. Not a whole lot of money. That's just a nickel between these two lines. We're going to give that one up. Still in the top of the list here, so I'm hanging on. Still showing bullish. That one didn't work out either. This first stock up here, that's a test symbol. Don't try to trade it. That ZVZZT. IONQ is on the rise, $13 stock. We've already had one pullback. Looks like IONQ is pretty strong. It may just continue to trickle upwards. It is a low volume stock, 874,000 shares traded overall. Sometimes in these high flyers, they're going to be low volume stocks and they will just continually run up at a slight angle with low volume. Getting a refresh at the current moment. This is typical of the high flyer scan. You'll see a small red candle before the continuation. Just like that. So your entry on these stocks would be that red candle. You're not going to get a big pullback out of them. We did here because it was the initial startup of the market opening. Still looking good here. There was another little red candle there. These stocks play totally different than a pullback strategy. Continually running. There's another small red candle. And a continuation. That would be how you play these stocks as you wait on those little red candles. We've had 2 or 3 entries here so far. Dropping down the list, you can see this is weakness. It's coming down. It was up here. I'm also watching the tick chart going red. It's pretty strong though. No fear of having to drop out from a big red candle. You may not get a pullback on it. You're going to see these little red candles. As long as it has buyers, it's going to keep going. They'll eventually take profit. You will eventually get that pullback. I'm seeing they're slacking off here if you look at the buyers down here. But we also don't have much sellers either. It's kind of laying flat. We're still above the 5 EMA. It's still pretty strong. We'll go ahead and mark this resistance. This is a low volume play. Keep that in mind. The last candle was only 70,000, 69.6. Now we need this candle to close. And it did right there, but it's going to pull down below it, it looks like. No longer in the high flyers list. It may be over. Let's move over to PXMD. PXMD had a pullback to that level, and it's already taken off. We're late on that one. Wish we could watch them all, but we can't. It's no great loss on this one by missing it. This whole run right here is about 8 cents. If you could have captured the entire 8 cents. Not likely with the spread. And we're finding it late. It is in number one up here, PXMD. But it's bearish. Another stock and high flyers. You can see we had the little red candles, little red candle, little red candles. Volume is dying out. No great big volume spikes. Everything is small, under one. Not seeing anything really pushing hard. They're kind of just creeping up, so it's probably going to be a high flyers day if you take your shot at one. We'll be waiting on this next number one position here. When they're under 1% like this, they're just kind of bouncing around like this is. Well, we're past the pullback. I wouldn't call this even a pullback. This was a sell-off. This is actually a bounce from the sell-off is what this is. Man, are we going dead here or what? It's going to be very hard to find a pullback in this slow of a market. We're going to have a bunch of little creepers until it dies finally. I'm going to stick with my theory saying we're going to need to wait on one to hit this number one position where everybody starts buying it, if that happens. Good job, Jeremy. Small profit is still money. You can pay for dinner tonight, and you gained, right? You covered your expense. PXMD back in this top level, but it's bearish. We'll see where it goes. Closer we get to 9 o'clock, the deader it's going to become. Its first 30 minutes is the most volatile. Market's been pretty much dying except for a few bouncers during the day. Looks like PXMD is going to continue pulling down. So I'm going to run down this list. I'm going to show you what kind of stocks this scan pulls up. That's the first one right there. That's the second one. That's the third one. That's the fourth one. And the fifth one. And the sixth one. And the seventh one. And the eighth. And it just goes on and on and on. They're all risers because the moving averages are in the proper order and the price is above the 5. So just running down the list, you can see what kind of scan this is. They're slow movers, they're low volume. You can see the low volume here. Let's see what Mara's doing. I haven't looked at it lately. I've been waiting on it to drop down in the $7 range. Definitely going down. I need it to go down is what I need. If you're not familiar with this stock, it's a good stock to play. You can pick up $1 a share on it. Been floating around the $9 to $10 range over the last month. I've been waiting on it to get back down in that $7 range. It's typically a $20 stock. Sometimes it floats around 14. So if you play it right and hit it hard when you catch the bottom, you can make a lot of money off of it. I've been playing it for years. I'll continue to play it, but it needs to get down where I need it. Well, it needs to crash a little harder. I like grabbing about 5,000 shares of it when it's down about $7. Run it on up to 10 or 12. Scott, are you familiar with modifying the code in a scan, in the scan settings? All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to re-upload. I did make a minor change to that scan. I'll go ahead and post a new link to it up in TOS scans. I'll post an update to it to all members as soon as this live stream is over. Let me find it here. Okay, it's going to be number 18. It is now updated. Number 18 in TOS scans. Thank you, Jeremy. That's exactly why I started this channel. Everybody was struggling. I know a lot of investors, and a lot of them were struggling, and they were wondering how I was being profitable. And that's why I started doing this. I wanted to help everybody out. It's been a tough 3 years, I have to admit. It's over in Discord on TOS scans. I'll post a link here in the chat. I don't, if it lets me, you may have to copy it and paste it into a browser. Yeah, it let me post a link. That's the new scan, the updated high flyers. Click that link, then copy the URL at the top of the web page, and then do the open shared item thing. You are welcome. You are welcome. I made such a subtle change to it, I didn't really think it would make a difference. That's why I did not update anybody. Excuse me. You are very welcome. Pleasure's all mine. I enjoy doing this just as much as you enjoy learning. And believe it or not, I keep myself trained by repeating it over and over and over and over and over. Keeps my mind fresh as well. Roth, that's going to be a Schwab issue, not a link issue. So if you have a Schwab issue, post me a notice over, direct message me over on Discord. And I'll create a video and post the code and a video on how to build the scan manually. So you see PXMD never left this position. It dropped down and came back to it, and it continued on running up. So I have it sorted by momentum, so you need this indicator as well, okay? Everything is sorted by momentum line. So here we are on a holiday, the day before a holiday, on a low volume day, not very many traders. And I'm putting stocks in front of you that are going up. I can just go down the list. It's been about 10 minutes later, and you can see what they're doing. Newman, I have various live stream videos. You can watch those. It will really educate you. You don't have to watch the whole 3 hours. Just watch from about 5 minutes to 6 a.m. to about 6:30 on each one, and you'll catch a really good grasp of what I'm doing. It's really not hard. I'm just marking out reversals. That's all I'm doing. I'm waiting on a high, waiting on a turnaround. So this would be a high. And I mark it. Then I wait for this candle to come down and close, and I mark it and wait for the run back up. It's that simple. We do it over and over and over. It works a lot more than it fails. Thank you, Sand Dip. You have a happy Thanksgiving as well. I'm glad I could contribute to your success. That also brings joy to me when I get comments like that. If you haven't seen the TD Ameritrade video, there's one of those also on YouTube where I sent this day trading code to them, and they did a live stream on it, and were so impressed they said it was too good to be true. And they weren't even using it for day trading. They converted it over to a long-term investment indicator, and back then it was version 2. We still have that version 2 listed, but it's been improved since then. But they tested it for a couple of weeks, could not prove it wrong. And then when I told them it was a day trading indicator, they had to quit promoting it because they don't promote day trading. Thank you, Roth. You have a blessed Thanksgiving as well. So that's a good feeling when you write something and the authority grabs it and tests it and can't prove you wrong. It's a very good feeling. Stonks, I always put out a message to everyone on Discord. I did that this morning once I updated that script. So if you're in Discord, you should have a message that says at everyone that I updated the high flyers. So really what I've done here is I've created a scanner that you don't have to pay for. You get multiple choice throughout the day. Whereas if you had a paid subscription, you're getting 1 or 2 call outs whenever it happens, and they're usually too late. Over here, we can start at the bottom and catch them lower and look for the pullbacks. So we have a lot better choice, and it's just as live as the other indicators because I'm focused on volume. They can't halt volume. They can't refresh it every 5 minutes. Volume is always live, and that's how all of these indicators perform, is on live data. Thank you, JC. You have a good Thanksgiving too, and God bless. Really, David, they took it down? I still have the links in the video to it. I'll check it later. I wonder if Ken Rose even works for them anymore. I wonder how many of those guys hung around. Jonathan, it takes time for me to figure out the issue. So if you post that over in support on Discord, I'll get to it after this live stream. I'll take a 10-minute break at 9:30, so about 9:45. That's providing I don't have 3 or 4 before you. David, that tells me I should have recorded that video myself and kept a copy. See you later, Michael. Thank you for joining us this morning. Have a blessed weekend and a blessed Thanksgiving. Malik, same to you. Have a blessed one. So we're past that 9 o'clock hour. You can see how things have just literally slowed down. See you later, Warlock. Have a blessed day. See you on Monday. Eddie, sometimes we have to play them a little differently. If you come here every morning, you'll catch on to different ways we have to play these stocks. But most of the time, it's the next green candle after the red on a support level. It's not necessarily a moving average, but a support and resistance level. Daniel, I'm not going to be available this evening. I have lots to do for this weekend. But if you catch me next week when we're back, I'll be glad to walk you through some stuff, help you out, try to resolve any issues you may have. Vaughn, just hang in there. We'll work you up to groceries for a week. How about that? I know you're here every morning. You're catching on. It just takes time. It's not something you can just jump in and do. ANGH, a spike up here. We already have a support level at 280. It's going to bounce. It's going to bounce off of this level. It's only about 8 cents all the way up to 290. If you're good with 8 cents, your play is going to be down here at 280. So it came down and retested 280. It did not stay down there. So we may not go too far here. I like it to stay down there to get the profit takers to take it out and then run it up. We may be getting that pullback to 280 now. That's a better candle, better red candle. It's really low volume for me to be calling these out. I really probably shouldn't be because we don't have the volume to support the movements. But we got a couple this morning. A few of you did. I haven't traded this morning. I don't like low volume trading. Walter, if you hang around here, you'll see that when I put out a scan or an indicator, since I'm a coder, I'm continually trying to fine tune them to the best of my ability. So on the high flyer scan, I made a simple change, but it must have been a big enough change for someone to notice. So I went ahead and put an update out to the high flyer scan. I'm always continually monitoring the efficiency of everything that I create. There's a pullback to that 280. I fine tune them until I can't fine tune them anymore. You are welcome. I have about 10 minutes left before I end the stream. If you haven't joined my YouTube channel, please do. That's where I make a few pennies from the views. Watch the advertisements. I'll make a few more pennies if you do that as well. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Like the videos. Comment on the videos. Let YouTube know that I'm doing a good job over here. It also lets me know that you like what I'm putting out. So comment on the videos, let me know, let YouTube know. If you haven't joined our Discord, there's a link in the description of every YouTube video that links you over to Discord. I'll post a link here in the chat. If you're not a subscriber to our Discord channel, you need to get that done as well. That's where you're going to find all these indicators and scripts and scans. Always join us here on these live streams. I teach you how to read these indicators and how to use them, what to look for, what not to do. Over in our Discord, visit our trading floor. That's where we have Gregster and River Place Dad doing their due diligence on stocks. And I'm pretty sure there's a lot more members also posting stocks. They're all joining in. I even sit there occasionally and play around with the stocks that are posted, make a few dollars. We have our options trading room where we have It's Me Bob. He's pretty good at options. You may want to hit him up for a live stream. He's probably not available this weekend since it's Thanksgiving, but when he has enough participants, he'll do a live stream and take you a little bit deeper into options. I want to thank all of our Patreon subscribers for keeping us alive here and helping pay the bills. And I really appreciate all the tips this morning in the chat. Everything is greatly appreciated. Help me get the word out. Let's help all these investors that are struggling. I really appreciate everyone's participation. You're welcome, Sergeant and Joseph. Dudley, you have a good Thanksgiving, every one of you. Thank you, Big Mike, you as well. And you too, AC. Same to you, Skits. Robert. Next week, we should have some volume come back into the market. Might be a little bit easier to call out these stock plays. Thank you, Vaughn, David, Hung. Same to you, Stonks. Skywalker. YouTube fixing to hit some of you with ads in about 45 seconds. If you don't mind, watch them. Might pay me a penny more. Thank you, Greg. Trading pennies. Thank you to everyone on Discord, and happy Thanksgiving to you guys as well. I know I don't participate over there much, but I got my hands full over here with YouTube. I do not, Walter. It's whatever they put up there. Same to you, Scott. So let's take one more look at this high flyers. Let's see if they're still going up. That one is. That one's going up. That one's going up. That one's going up. That one's going up. That one's starting to go up. They get weaker as I go down the list. But as long as they have a score, they're moving. Thank you, Hung. Thank you, Bob Smith and BB. And God bless you as well. And Ford, think I missed you there, bro. Happy Thanksgiving to you. Thank you, Domingo. It's a pleasure having you on board with us. Every one of you are already professional traders. You just don't know it yet. Same to you, Francisco. God bless. Thank you, Ron Miller. You too. And God bless. CCL way down here in the list and rising. Remember, red pullbacks on the high flyer scan. Don't buy a green candle, buy a red one. If you haven't liked this live stream yet this morning, please do so. Helps my ratings with YouTube. I got about 20 seconds to go here. I'll be signing out. As always, have a blessed day, a blessed Thanksgiving, and God bless to every one of you. It was a pleasure this morning. Thanks for joining us. See you guys again on Monday. I'm out of here.